Hey, guys. So I am back today. Um, we are now on day 3, and as I did yesterday, I'm just going to do a little recap. So, day 2 was about, actually, let's start from day 1. So, day 1 was we talked about how important it is for you to know what you like, who you like, all those aspects of like what foods you like, what colors you like, all those things. You want to find out what you like, not what you thought you might like, not what somebody told you like. What do you as yourself like? So that was day 1. And day 2, we talked about what don't you like. After you figure out what you like, then you can figure out what you don't like. And so day 2, you wanted to go through and ask yourself questions. What don't I like? And why don't I like it? Is it because someone said that's what I don't like? Or is it because something I actually don't like? Or was it something that I didn't like in the past? And now I'm really neutral um, to it, or to the new idea of it, or a new way of it. So you just want to, check into those things. What do I like? What don't I like? And so now we are on day 3, and day 3, and I got my little notes here, y'all, because I don't want to forget nothing. I always, want to give as much value information as I possibly can. And I feel like this is a good topic, but it goes into so many details because self-confidence is something that no one can give you, no one can help you with, as far as in the steps you have to take to make sure that you set your own foundation. So once again, there are 4 pillars of self-confidence, and that is learn yourself, know yourself, love yourself, and trust yourself. In order to, do the last few, which is trust and love yourself, you have to learn yourself. You have to learn what you like, what you don't like, all the aspects of who you are. And then once you learn those things, then you have to get to know those things. You have to get to know yourself. You have to start dating yourself and getting a better connection with yourself. And then once you get a better connection with yourself from learning and then knowing yourself, then you're going to start loving yourself. And that gives you an even better understanding of who you are and where you're going, because you can't know something that you don't know. You can't, you can't know something that you don't know. That's true, but you can't love what you don't know. If you don't know yourself, how can you properly love yourself? And so that's what you want to think about. And the final one is trust yourself. Once you are able to finally love yourself for all of who you are, for all of your mistakes, for all of your good, your bad, everything, once you be able to love all of that, then you can begin to trust yourself, trusting your ideas and your thoughts, and just your decision making. And that is a major key. You're going to hear me say it's very important. It's a lot of stuff that's very important. It's very important. So day 3, let's get into it, and let's just, it's day 3. You're going to think about, how do you see yourself? And the image that we hold in our head of who we are is the foundation of how others will see us. So if you feel like you're just not worthy of this, of love, of peace, of joy, if you're not worthy of anything, then that's what's going to show on the outside. That's how you see yourself, as unworthy. So that's what's going to show, and that's what's going to manifest in your life. But if you begin to create a wholeness of who you are, and understanding that your self-image is what you create by learning and knowing yourself, then you're able to take that image and present it outward, so that how you see yourself on the inside, the love that you have for yourself, the love that you have for the person you are, now others can begin to love you for that. They can begin to see what you see. They can begin to enjoy who you are, really. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be superficial. You don't have to be any of those things. And you begin to take steps to understand that it's really about how I see myself, even when no one's around, and it's a lot of people don't think that, but they put on all these superficial things and they think it's all about, and today I got on makeup a little bit, y'all, but it's all about the superficial things. And it's not. You can put on the makeup, you can put on the earrings, you can put on all the beautiful things, and it does not take away from the inner energy and the inner love that's being presented outward. You can be so gorgeous in your clothes, your hair, your everything, but if you got a nasty spirit, if you just feel down about yourself, feel just hateful about yourself, you're going to push that out. Hey, Derek, you're going to push that out, and there's really nothing you can do about that. A person's self-image is the most important thing that they can really have of themselves. Now, your self-image truthfully was created before you had a chance to create it yourself. So we get our self-images from different experiences in life, from our past, from what we experienced as a child. Like I told you, I was bullied as a kid, picked on because I was, more heavy, because I developed early, different things like that. So you get your sense of being at a young age from your experiences, from your family, from different things that happen in life. And it goes to, are you seeing yourself in your mirror, or are you seeing yourself in the mirror that was created for you? Right? So when I say that, it goes back to what I just said, is you don't initially create your image yourself. It's given to you. Because for the first 7 years, we are in something called the theta stage of life, where we are just recorders. We are recording all of what goes on. And that's truthfully where our foundation is set of who we think we are and who we start to become. The foundation is set from there. And in the theta stage, there's really nothing you can do but record, but process information. And you go through life, and parents don't necessarily do it on purpose all the time, but sometimes they say, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that, instead of saying you can do anything you set your mind to. You're beautiful, you're gorgeous, be who you are. We're not told that. We're not told to be who we are. We're not told to live out our dreams and what we see for ourselves. We're told, oh, you should do this, oh, you should be that, And for so long, I battled with that on who I should be, what should I do, what should I believe, what should I think about myself, and it really took a toll on me mentally as well as physically, because for the fact that I didn't really have a good self-image of myself, I wasn't taking care of myself health-wise. I wasn't taking care of myself mentally. I could, get nice and all dialed up for a view, of course, but it goes deeper than that. When you go behind your closed doors and you want to look in the mirror, and say, I love this person. Like, I can now look in the mirror and say, I love me. I don't care what nobody say, how nobody feel. I love me, because I have learned that it's on the inside. It's what I do on the inside that counts. And that's what's going to show on the outside. And if my energy, if my light, if my feelings of self is strong and powerful on the inside, that's what's going to resonate on the outside. People might not even always understand what they're looking at when they see you, but sometimes people have this spirit, this light about them, and you don't necessarily know what it is. And sometimes they don't know what it is. But when you see somebody, and sometimes we call them eccentric, they're like, oh, you're so eccentric. But it's really them just being themselves. They're not trying to be nobody else. They're not trying to walk in nobody else's shoes, fit nobody else, anything. They're being themselves, and they're happy in that, regardless of what society say, regardless of what parents say, regardless of what anyone say. They are happy with being self, and understanding that it requires you loving yourself before someone else can love you. That's like, thank you, Debbie. Hope all is well. It requires, you loving yourself. And that was the biggest thing. And you would say, oh yeah, I love myself. But do you really love yourself? Because loving yourself is asking yourself the hard questions. Loving yourself is, being willing to understand you have both light and dark in you. You're not always this sweet, happy person. You're not always this mean person. But sometimes you do have those energies, and it's understanding that that's okay. You're not bound to any one particular feeling or energy, because they change like those seasons, they change like the wind. But sometimes those feelings are from us not having a proper self-image of self, and it is hard to do anything in life if you don't believe you can. Anybody in the world can believe you can, but if you don't, it doesn't make a difference, right? So like my husband for years, has had huge faith in me. And I give him all these ideas. I'm like, oh, I should do this and I should do that and I should do this. And he's like, yeah, you really should. You should stand out and do it. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know how people take it. And that came from when I was a child, I always thought out in the distance and out in mind. And so when I would present my ideas to someone and they would say, oh, that's too far out there, or it affected what I thought. I thought maybe I was just too out there and no one could grasp what I was feeling and no one could grasp the thoughts I had. But one thing I learned, and I can't remember who I learned this from, but one thing I learned is your dream or your vision or even your self-image is for you. It's not for anyone else. It's for you to have a concept of who you are. It's for you to have a concept of how to love yourself so that you may love those in your life a lot better. And I don't know what it's so funny because like I've been talking about this subject and just different things been popping up. And you just talk about, how can you ever expect for someone else to love you if you don't love yourself? And so, that's the self-image. How can you expect someone to think you're beautiful? How can you expect someone to think you're great, you're amazing, if you don't think that, if you don't believe that, not even think it? Because thinking is one thing, believing is a whole nother thing. Believing is without a shadow of the doubt. I know that I am an awesome person. That's believing. Don't just think it. I think, oh, I could possibly be, it may be. No, it ain't none of that. A healthy self-image is believing, and not just believing, but constantly reassuring yourself, constantly encouraging yourself. I would be telling you a lie if I would say that, oh, you're going to go through these 30 days and that's going to be the end of it. No, it's a constant journey. Life is a journey. Knowledge is a journey. Pardon me. And self-confidence is a journey. It took you years to get to the point of being so low that you couldn't grasp anything else. And it may not take you years to get there if you're really open and willing to change, but it will take time. It will take practice. It will take patience. And just understanding that even if you don't completely believe it now, you speak it so that it may manifest in your life. And that's really just basically it. How do you see yourself when you look in the mirror, when you're alone? Not when you're with your friends, like, oh, I look cute today, oh, I look good today, oh, I feel good today. Self-image is not about feelings. It's not about looks. Self-image is about knowing your true self, accepting your true self, and being willing to take yourself in the inner thoughts of your mind, in the darkest secrets, in the darkest corridors of your mind, and fighting through whatever is keeping you from connecting and believing that you are worth yourself and that others are worth you. You know, it's a whole segment. But that's how I want you to start today. Is just, you know, how do you see yourself? Really, really think about it. How do you see yourself? You know, when you look in the mirror, how do you see yourself? And if you have to, look in the mirror. Literally look in the mirror. Look at your whole body. Look at your mind and say, how do I really see myself? Because people may think they have a good self-image of themselves and they don't. So you really want to look in the mirror and say, how do I see myself? And you don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to share with anybody or speak it out to the world. Nobody has to know. This is a personal thing. This is a personal battle. It's a personal success. And if you're not where you want to do, it's personal failures if that's what happens. But look at the failures as a learning stone. Okay, I tried to be this person. That didn't work. So now it's time to go back to the drawing board. Who am I really? And I almost got a little bit more into it, but I don't want to because I want to take time and let people really process this information because it's vital. It's vital to being the person you see yourself. I had an image of myself and I would get so frustrated for many years because I'm like, I got this image of myself and it ain't working and I don't know why. Okay, well, part of it was I really didn't have a real image of myself. I thought I had an image of myself and I was attempting to work that image, but the image was not who I really was on the inside. And it was a good image. It was just that I hadn't did the work to put the image into my mental blueprint. And if you don't do the work to put it into your mental blueprint, nothing changes. Your blueprint of your self-image is what controls everything, basically. When you feel better about yourself, you carry yourself in a different manner. You're happier. You're wanting to work out, you're wanting to eat healthy, you want to take care of yourself, and it makes a difference. But when you don't have, when you don't have that, healthy blueprint of yourself, then even if you want to be that happy person, that joyful person, it's hard because your mind can't grasp what we're doing. What are we doing? This is not the image that I see of myself. So it's going to naturally digress to the image it does have. And so then it's going to take you back to doing the stuff. You're like, why am I steady doing this? Why am I steady thinking about this of myself? Why am I steady seeing myself like this? It's because you haven't changed your blueprint. So, like I said, I know we went too deep. So, but, just start there. So that is day 3. And I am looking at this and I left it saying day 2, not on purpose. But that's day 3. How do you really see yourself? And be truthfully honest. And like I said, I'm going to do the same thing. This is simple because so it's not really going to be too many questions of how do you see yourself. When I went through this whole process, I learned I did not see myself in a healthy way. I did not see myself happy. I saw myself stressed, trying to fill all these roles and all these pillars of life that I thought I was supposed to feel and be this awesome person and give up all myself. But I had to learn that in taking care of myself, I can take care of others. If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't understand yourself, if you don't learn, know, and love and trust yourself, you cannot give those things to anyone else. You can't understand someone if you don't understand yourself because your mind is blocked. So take the time to do these questions if you can. Take the time to really understand yourself and just be prosperous in life because you can do anything you set your mind to. And if you're really looking to tackle whatever it is you're tackling, this, I went for self-confidence because that's so much of what my battle has been. And I feel since I have made progress in it, it's my responsibility to help someone else make progress. And I'm not all of where I want to be, but I have come so far. I mean, so far. I have come so far in this. And I know now I can do anything. I mean, if you're fearful, I don't care if you're fearful, because fear is going to be there. I have been scared to make moves, and it has made me to be paralyzed in receiving opportunity and receiving joy for myself. And so, in understanding that you are scared, you have to understand your feelings and your thoughts of who you are. Because now I know, even though I'm scared or I may be fearful to make a move, acting in spite of and making that move and understanding my feelings of myself, I'm still able to make progress. I hope that makes sense. So like in understanding who you are, you're able to still push forward. Acknowledge your anger. At one time I was so angry, but you have to acknowledge all these things. You have to acknowledge your anger. You have to acknowledge your fear, your sadness, your depression. Acknowledge all these things. Don't try to hide them. Don't try to push them away. And I'm not saying you have to share with the world, but be honest with yourself and allow yourself to understand the different sides of you. There's many different sides of you, and you want to learn, know, and love all of those sides because they make up who you are. They make up the great person that God has put before you. So in understanding that and accepting that is when you are able to make real progress and constantly move forward. So I'm not going to hold y'all long. One, because I'm grilling some chicken, y'all, and I got to go check on it. But I am so excited to be able to share and to hopefully be able to help someone, because that's the most important thing. And you want to know that there's somebody there with you. And that's how I want people to feel. I have dealt, like I said, with low self-esteem for years, for most of my life. I'm 33, young, still dealt with self-esteem for most of my life. And for a good part of my childhood, for many different things. And I had to realize that I was good enough for myself. I was good enough to share who I am. I'm good enough to accept that I'm not perfect, that I still get upset, that I still sometimes get sad. You have to accept that. There's no way around it. But in accepting that, I'm also able to understand that I'm vulnerable and that I'm able to love the vulnerable side of me, the hard side of me, the strong side of me, the fearful side of me. I'm able to love all these pieces and still create this whole being of light and of greatness, regardless of what I'm going through, because there's always going to be something you're going through. And you have to remember that there's always going to be something in life that want to attack your energy, that want to attack, you being happy. But when you're grounded in self, it's so much harder for that to be done. So check that out. Take care of that, and really think about it. If you haven't went over these last 2 days and you just checked in on this video on the third day, go back and watch the other 2 videos. If you have time, ask yourself those questions. There's only 5 questions for each day, and really get some understanding for yourself. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. I pray peace and blessings and much prosperity on your life. And I hope that this has blessed someone, and I will continue to do these for the next 30 days. And it gets deeper, but I'm not going to go too much, but it gets deeper. And like I said, I hope this really blessed someone, because learning these things that I'm going to cover over these next 30 days has really helped me. And so many ways. I used to be such a invert. I'm still kind of an invert, but I speak my mind, and not in an angry way, just in a way to express myself. And that's something I have never done. I have always been fearful of that. So to be able to let that go and embrace who I am as a woman, as a mother, as just self, it's important. Like I said, I'm long-winded right now, so let me stop. I love you guys. Be blessed. May God look over you. May your life be filled with happiness. And I will see y'all tomorrow for day 4 of 30 days to gain self-confidence. It's really good, y'all. It's going to get better. So, because I'm warming up. The more I do them, the more I'm like, oh, we about to get this. It's going to be great. So with that being said, be blessed and have a great night. Talk to you guys soon.